All right, people, let's land this eclipse plane. This is the last of the reports and a summary of everything so that you have all the things you need and future dates. Let's go. Okay, so thus far, we have talked about, first one, we talked about where Chiron was, the sun, the moon, and the north node. If you've been watching, the symbols were thunder, excite, thrill, convulse, and tremor. Okay? Those two symbols mean thunder over thunder in I Ching. And this was connected to the gate of shock. All of this, save it, pause and read, connected to the gene key 51, agitation, which is going to make you initiate, which leads to the awakening. Okay? This is the solution. This is why I don't know why you would lean towards fear. If you see this, when you see the word agitate in red, okay? Think of that like the shadow of the line. Remember, we talked about the future and the past. So everything, all of these thought forms are points of light, which can be line. The shadow is like the left side, agitation. The right side is awakening. The middle is initiative. They're the same point of energy. Your job is to notice the sensation you are feeling if it is agitation and say, oh, I'm feeling the shadow of an energetic expression. Let me initiate. Let me go into something. Let me do something to feel better is an initiation. Dancing, singing. I'm about to go move earth because the earth is moving. I figure I'd get ahead of the game and do some gardening. Think about it. I'm getting that energy out. That's manifesting. Initiate instead of sitting in the sensation. And it doesn't matter what you do. It's the energy of initiation that is necessary. It automatically leads to the next thing. So you don't have to worry about trying to awaken or open up to more points of perspective. You just need to go for doing something. Follow your highest path of excitement. Boom. It could be anything. I want to watch this show, watch the show. Anything. Okay? That's your first clue. Everything's pointing to that. Everything in the everything, okay? And then we have to go over the lunation cycles at the end because I have your future dates. And if you follow along with me, we'll be keeping up with these dates so that you can follow your manifestation. This will be coming out in a free course as my book comes closer to being released. So follow along. We are going to have these dates because you're going to have this energy coming back again. And a first quarter moon, a full moon, and a last quarter moon. And that's like how it peaks and wanes. Okay. But before we get to that, let's go over what we discussed with Pluto. Okay. And limits find liberation and structure find freedom. Let's talk about that. That's masculine and feminine, people. Okay. When you even think about the eclipse with the sun being in the back and the moon being in the front, the sun creates the boundary for the moon to express itself. The moon is the receptor. The sun is the antenna. The moon is the hurricane. The sun is the boundary of where it hits in nature. Okay. We will discuss the masculine and feminine more here, but remember they're expressions of energy. Taurus field in, Taurus field out. Think about that this week. Embrace limitations as a catalyst for innovation and break free from outdated norms and embrace progress. Now, the symbols here, remember, it's a dash or a dash, 2 dashes or 1 line. 3 of those make a symbol. Together, stacked are I Ching. We'll go over this too if you want to. Just let me know in the comments. But it's water over lake. So it's all about the lake. The boundary of the lake is the masculine. The water in the lake is the feminine. Finding this balance between where you are supposed to be free and where you are supposed to have structure based on your authentic self. That's the expression here. So we have shock. We have this transformation we're going to where it's going to be easier to do that. Those are the 2 that we have thus far energy-wise, okay? Limits and connections. You can pause and read. Now, again, when you feel limitations, remember it's the shadow of the feeling. You kind of have to become a realist looking at form that we have now and that having certain constrictions isn't the problem. It's the definitions of them to lead to a place where we know we can get to justice. Now, this is a bigger message. This is something that is going to take a longer time to transform or wouldn't be Pluto, possibly an entire generation. But think of it as being in the background of the storyline. that the bigger expression here is for us to come into balance in our own forms of justice. Okay. This is where I put lightning strike statue of liberty. Okay. Now I told you with Jupiter and Uranus, they are in Taurus, have been, will be. This is another character in the entire storyline. Progressive ideas around resource management, ownership, and economic equality, sparking a global paradigm shift, and then cultivating a mindset of abundance and gratitude, trusting in the universe's ability to provide. All of life will not change you. It unfolds as a way to unmask you. And this is, the symbols here represent keeping still on submissive earth connection. Okay. How we, work with Mother Nature to provide for ourselves and others. That conversation is everywhere. How does that fit into your storyline? Where do these tangible goods and how you provide for yourself in an abundant environment in a way that feels authentic, in a way that is expansive and expressive, those things are coming to be questioned, challenged, moved forward. Splitting apart is the CHING here. Now, I thought this one was very interesting because, again, I thought of Earth because of Taurus, and I thought of earthquakes, and I thought of things that, this hall of mirrors of reality that we're living in, where now we don't know what the truth is. Again, it's allowing us a place to open up and be brave and to see more in the environment. So that is the energy energizing. Again, if you feel like everything is so complex, if you get this overwhelming feeling of there are too many parts to change, too many parts to move, remember that you eat an elephant one bite at a time, and look for the simplicity in nature as inspiration to find the overall beauty in everything, because nature is very simple, even though it is quite complex. But when you see it from this overview, when you watch flower grow and you see the patterns in the flower and the colors and just the way that things pan out as the form, it's beautiful in its simplicity while individually allowing itself to be complex without necessarily having to show it off. I felt like I had to say that. I don't know why, but think about that. When it comes to what you're manifesting, really consider that, because I think we pretend like things have to be more complicated than they have to be, and look for the simple form or the simple structure to find the enlightening. Then we have Neptune and Pisces, and we're dissolving old patterns and paving the way for spiritual evolution. Refuge from the chaos of the material world. Darkening of the light, the symbol appearance of clear intelligence. We are talking about this Neptune energy I've been thinking about a lot, because when I said going into the infinite pool and you will find turbulence there, it's because this sense of turbulence is supposed to be there. Don't try to exit from the uncomfortableness of this dark space right now. There's still something here that you can gather and ascertain. But it ain't going to feel as cozy going into the space as it would normally, because there's a lot of potential energy. Potential energy can always work for you. Okay. Remember, it's a shadow of expression. So the more chaos there is more energy around for you to use, for you to gather up. And again, Neptune is a very slow moving planet. This is something you've been working on for your lifetime that's gestating. The feeling is that it's bigger than, it's not a controllable asset. It's something you have to balance and harmonize with. It's not something you can adjust or shift. And just, I would say, be the receptive earth, which is the first part of the symbol. And the clinging flame is like, allow the transformation to take place without too much resistance. Okay. And this is all about the dark night of the soul as well, and going and finding the light within darkness. You are the light within darkness. And when you realize that, and you can, I would say, feel that with authority, then there are no dark places, because you are always the bulb. Okay. If you feel turbulence, find some compassion. Okay. Compassion is an energy you can call in. All of these major energies, you're calling in the red one, you can call in the green one or the blue one. Okay. So what I would like you to do is find the humanity in the chaos and a place to place your compassion on how you fit in the overall theme of it. As in, You shouldn't be as nervous as the people on the ground if there's chaos happening, if you're watching it from a screen on your cozy ass couch. You can feel compassion. You can feel a level of connection, but don't bring more turbulence to the turbulence. You can instead bring compassion to the turbulence. That's what I will say, okay? It's about seeing the humanity in the world and not feeling devastated from that place where you become crippled and immobile. Instead, allow it to move you. That's the overall message. That is where we are. Now let's look at future dates, because this is sparking something in you. And you're going to hear a lot on here about new moons not being for manifesting, new moons being for manifesting. What I like to practice is the concept that new moons are great for dreaming about, and full moon going into that where you space have all the data so that you can pull that you can look at what the next layer of the vision is. You can kind of see where things are on the field now. You got a full view of everything, the potential, and then that last quarter moon is you tying up that story. That's usually when the reward comes in. You start moving with the data that you've gathered. Full moon is a place where you have all the data that you can look at. You've gathered it. You've made moves. You can kind of see where things are on the field now. You've got a full view of everything. And then that last quarter moon is you tying up that story. That's usually when the reward comes in, the waning to getting back to that new moon, to start over with the next round of initiation requests based on the previous storyline. So we know we're looking at 4/8/24, and this is when the initiation will take place. You've got until 12/10/2024, until December is when the moves will really start to be, like, if you know you have this much time, don't fret, just receive. Full moon is October 6th, 2025. It's a lot of time. And then last quarter is July 7th, 2026. And so we will be going through these dates somewhere, even if it's not on TikTok, so that you can, it's probably on YouTube. You should be looking at this on YouTube. Please. So we're going to be going over these and tracking these dates. Keep them in your calendar. Get to the place now where you have something to look back on by the time we get to the last quarter moon, and then you'll have a ton of content for yourself that you can continue to use with the Aries cycle. Every single month, we're going to be doing this until we have a full calendar. This is how we work, okay? Happy Saturday. Move your body. I have a meditation that I did where I channeled the planets yesterday. I'm going to post that in the description on YouTube if you want to copy and paste it and put it in and do it. It was a little clunky, but she called in all the planets and it was fun. It's an old one. I'm sure they're going to be releasing a new version of this meditation, but I just wanted to start working on what the planets were saying. And I will say this, I feel like when you become more of a channel of the planets and you connect to them in that way, you will feel a more gentle approach to whatever turbulences we have, because they're only trying to get your attention. And if you're paying attention, then it's easier to kind of shift, move, and mingle. Okay? You guys have a great weekend. Happy eclipse. Let me know what you think of this. I look forward to seeing what happens with all of these dates. And what happens this weekend. It's been rumbly and crazy. Confirmation. Have a good day. Bye.